Good afternoon, YouTube. This is ArcherZZ, and I am here with my lovely assistant, the Yamaha FC6R, and today we are going to show you how to start on a hill. And I have my hill here. This is actually the hill I learned on my Ninja 250 on. It's a nice gradual slope, and it's kind of long, so I can practice a few times before I have to loop around. It's actually a church, and there's no one here right now. And there's another hill just down there that's a little higher that I'll use for a steeper example. I actually was on a hill today that was it was ridiculously steep, and I debated making a video on there, but I didn't know the development, so I didn't feel like stopping. It was a highly traveled road, sadly. So I just want to point out one of the most crucial features on your bike that you're going to use on a hill is the rear brake. There are other methods to use to start on a hill, but it's always a good idea. These horses are looking at me like I'm crazy. Don't look at me like that. The rear brake is the one you want to use. The other method, which I'll demonstrate on the hill, is one that I use frequently, but it's not good to use for an extended period of time or on really steep hills, just because it kind of is bad for your clutch. I mean, it's not necessarily bad, but it's not really good either. So hop on your bike, and I'll see you at the bottom of the hill, which is right there. Promise, it's not far. That's right, start up right the first time. Alright, so the first thing you're going to want to do in order to practice hill starting is you're going to want to hop on, you want to find a hill like this one and get on your bike. And this is all assuming that you have mastered the art of clutch control and all these different things in my previous videos. Like, you want to be able to start consistently without stalling before you get on the hill, because the one method I'm going to show you does require quite a bit of clutch control, and I can assure you that I stalled out several times on this hill before I quite found the right spot in the clutch with the right amount of throttle. Okay, so the first way I'm going to show you is actually what I'm doing right now, is the rear brake. You just want to put your hand on the rear brake. My bike's in neutral right now, and so if I let go of the rear brake, I'll start to fall backwards. So once you're in a position where you're starting to drift backwards, you want to be able to move forwards without backing up into the car behind you or bike behind you. At a stop sign, stop light, anywhere really when you stop. So I'm going to have to put my bike in first gear. And so scenario, you come to a stop at a stop sign and you realize you're on a hill. You come to a complete stop, you pull up, you look right, left, you look right, you look left, you look right, no car is coming, and you let off the brake and you drift backwards. Bad. Or if you don't use the rear brake and you kind of have to let off the front brake in order to actually give the bike gas, or throttle, you're going to run into problems as well where you're drifting backwards. So the one method to use is just to put your right foot on the rear brake, and you'll sit pretty. Clutch is pulled in, rear brake is keeping me in place. So what you want to do is you want to start easing off the clutch and giving it gas so that when you let off the rear brake, you move. So once you start moving, you want to come to a complete stop. And I mean, I only moved 3-4 feet there, so I have a few more tries left in me. So just walk you through it again one more time. Is you'll have your foot on the rear brake holding you in place, and you just want to give it a little bit of throttle as you ease off the clutch and off the rear brake, and you might drift back a little bit and you go forward. So just keep practicing this and keep practicing this, because I'm sure if you're like me, you'll stall out a few times or you'll drift backwards. So it's just one of those skills that practice makes perfect, and then practice some more just to be sure. So rear brake is on, drift backwards if I let off, give it some gas, let off the clutch, and away we go. I mean, that one wasn't as smooth, but so that's basically how you do the standard stop on a hill, and then you start back up on a hill. It's fairly simple. It's just one of those things that new riders, it's just a little challenge that you'll have to overcome. I mean, I know that I would actually plan my route in my head for a week or so and think, are there any places that I'm going to have to use the rear brake at a stoplight, or is there any? Because I had a big problem where I would stall on hills doing just like that. So the method that I used, and is not that great, is I would actually ride the clutch a little bit. So I would just sit here like I am right now. So I'm kind of balanced. My left foot's not on the brake, I think you can see. And you can see I'm kind of pulling forward, and that's all I'm doing, is I'm just engaging the clutch just ever so slightly, just by balancing the gas and the clutch. And you just kind of sit here. And I was recently informed that this is not the best method for your clutch. You'll burn it out, or you'll wear it out a little quicker. So I've been switching from that method to using the rear brake. And it's also good because this clutch to throttle method and just balancing, it's a little harder to do on steeper hills. So it's always good to have multiple weapons in your arsenal to tackle different hills. So on this hill, if I'm doing that method, it's kind of hard to get started, but you'll just give it a little bit of gas and throttle, and you'll just kind of balance here, and then you just take off as usual. You come to a stop on a hill, use your brake. You don't really come to a complete stop. You never fully pull the clutch in. Like, as you can see, it's halfway out and it's engaged, and a little bit of gas will send me forward. So those are the two methods that I know of to use to practice clutch control on a hill, basically. So those are the methods that I know of to start your motorcycle on a hill. It's very simple. It's just, like I said before, it's just one of those things where practice makes perfect, and then you want to practice it some more just so you can be prepared for every situation. I mean, that's pretty much it. It's a pretty simple concept, and that's really all there is to it. I hope this helps everyone. Hope you enjoy my videos. Thanks for watching. Bye. Like I said, my vlog is just about me vlogging, me getting the words that are in my head out, even if they're not so eloquent, and talking with my hands. It's very fun. You should try it. It helps you get your point across.